All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into the extreme geography and the incredibly vibrant culture of the Lofoten Islands. I am super passionate about making complex topics easy to digest, and we are going to look at how the raw forces of nature, deep history, and everyday modern life all weave together in literally one of the most stunning landscapes on Earth. So get comfortable and let's explore Norway's northern paradise.
We're kicking things off with a geographical mystery that honestly almost defies logic. Before we even look at the majestic granite peaks, we really have to ask, how does an archipelago sitting on the exact same latitude as northern Canada manage to stay above freezing all year round? It's a foundational anomaly, and it's basically what makes all life up here possible.
Okay, let's dive right into our first section, a mild Arctic paradise, focusing on geography and climate.
So Lofoten sits at 68 degrees, 14 minutes north. Now compare that to places on the exact same parallel. We're talking about the Coronation Gulf in Nunavut, Canada, or Murmansk, Russia. While those regions are notorious for their biting, relentless Arctic cold, Lofoten stands out as this lush, livable oasis. The contrast is absolutely massive. The secret here? It's the Gulf Stream, this massive river of warm water, along with the North Atlantic and Norwegian currents, pushes up right along the Norwegian coast. It's like a giant underwater heating system. This remarkable ocean flow gives the islands a mild breathing space and creates one of the biggest temperature anomalies relative to latitude anywhere on the planet. And the result of all that warm water? In the summer, temperatures can actually reach a very pleasant 16 degrees Celsius, which is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, turning the whole landscape a striking green. And get this, outlying islands like Rost and Vieroy are the most northerly locations in the world where average temperatures stay above freezing all year round. I mean, snow might cap the mountain peaks, but down by the coast, it is astonishingly mild.
Moving on to Section 2, Viking Heritage and the Power of Stockfish, looking at the history that shaped the islands.
You see, this mild coastal climate didn't just make survival possible, it allowed people to absolutely thrive. Lofoten's history is fundamentally tied to the ocean. Starting way back in the Viking era, powerful chieftains built vast wealth from the sea. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and Hanseatic merchants in Bergen acted as the crucial link, trading Lofoten's dried fish for goods all over Europe. And today, the massive global appetite for this unique, wind-dried fish hasn't slowed down one bit. It's an unbroken chain. If you want to truly feel the weight of that history, you've got to check out the Lofoten Viking Museum. Archaeological digs revealed that a remarkably powerful chieftain once lived right on that exact spot. Today, with the longhouse reconstructed to its full, massive size, it offers a deeply immersive experience. You can literally step back in time, joining authentic Viking feasts around open fires, complete with mead and storytelling. It beautifully ties the modern identity of the islands right back to their fierce past. Now, you really can't talk about the island's history without bringing in the senses. For much of the year, there is a constant, distinct fishy smell in the cold, salty air. Along the coastline, you'll see these iconic, massive wooden racks where turfisk, or stockfish, hangs to dry right in the Arctic wind. For the locals, that is the smell of proud tradition and a thriving economy. For visitors, well, let's just say it's a very authentic sensory experience that you adjust to pretty quickly. And this unique export reaches way beyond Norway. The dried fish from these racks is the absolute foundation of Portugal's beloved national dish, bacalhau. It travels across the globe, exported as far as Brazil and Mexico. It is totally fascinating to realize how this small, remote archipelago in the Arctic dictates so much of the culinary culture on the complete opposite side of the planet.
All right, let's jump into Section 3, Everyday Life and Arctic Art, exploring what it's like living among the mountains and fjords.
Despite the awe-inspiring, larger-than-life nature and their massive global influence, the population here is surprisingly intimate. Fewer than 25,000 people call the entirety of Lofoten home. This creates incredibly tight-knit, small communities just tucked quietly into the shadows of those towering, brutal granite walls. Living here is definitely a delicate balancing act. Locals are happiest when they're outdoors, breathing in that famously clean air and enjoying a very safe society with a super low crime rate. But there are distinct practical challenges. Job opportunities are pretty heavily concentrated in fishing, the growing tourism sector, and public service. Plus, traveling to and from the rest of mainland Norway, it's a slow and expensive endeavor. You have to genuinely love the landscape to make your life here. And among those who love this landscape the most are the artists. Since the 19th century, the ever-changing weather and the crisp, totally unique Arctic light have acted as an absolute magnet for painters. There is just something magical about the way the sun hits the water and the dramatic peaks here that you simply cannot find anywhere else in the world. Today, that historical draw has blossomed into a broad, vibrant creative community. You won't just find painters anymore. The archipelago is home to immensely talented glassblowers, ceramic artists, jewelry makers, and sculptors running their own workshops. Places like Kunstnerhaus in Svolvær even provide dedicated studio spaces for creatives to find their inspiration. Lofoten isn't just a place to look at, it is very much a place to create. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 4, Mastering the E10 Route, with some practical travel tips for your own journey. If you want to experience all this for yourself, you're going to need to know the E10. This is the main artery connecting the islands, running 128 kilometers, or about 79 miles, from Svolvær down to the village of Å. It holds the prestigious status of a national scenic route. That means it's not just a highway. It's a beautifully designed journey, complete with government-funded, architecturally striking rest stops and viewing platforms that perfectly frame the landscape. So the crucial point for a successful road trip really comes down to this. First, pad your itinerary with extra time. The map might look small, but the narrow roads and the endless side trips demand a slow pace. Second, bring cash. Parking at popular trailheads is closely monitored by small local communities to protect the environment, so definitely have some change ready. And third, please look up from your camera gadgets. No lens can actually capture the true sweeping beauty of standing right there. Now, it's also important to acknowledge the reality behind those pristine photos. Sudden influxes of visitors over recent years have heavily strained the local infrastructure. As the mayor of Flagstad pointedly noted, the region has become unbalanced in terms of tourism. Small communities are dealing with serious erosion on popular trails and major parking congestion. It's an ongoing, delicate debate about how to welcome the world while actively preserving this really fragile Arctic environment. And that brings our explainer to a close. We've explored the Gulf Stream's warm embrace, the deep roots of the Viking and stockfish economy, the artists chasing the light, and the modern realities of navigating the E10. So I've got to leave you with this final thought. What calls to you the most? Is it the rich Viking history, driving the scenic E10, or discovering that vibrant Arctic art scene? Thank you so much for exploring with us, and keep asking questions.